Hello everyone and welcome back. I wanted to introduce another radio in my collection. It's this very beautiful Farnsworth radio. It's from around, I think, 1946. You can see the beautiful work here. It has a mirrored, what appears to be walnut front burl, and we can clean this up and I'm sure it's really going to show itself. And the other finish is more of a reddish tint, so I'm guessing this is a mahagony finish. So just at a glance it looks like maybe a split cabinet with mahogany and walnut. But this crosshatch grill work is amazing. I would guess, just based on the condition of the grill cloth, that's original. And you can see the dial scale, and in the back you've got the Farnsworth name, and that's really cool how that's laid out in there. I think the radio is a 6-tube, again a model ET-066, and from 1946. I tell you, if you get the opportunity, go back and research the history on Farnsworth. It's an amazing story, and one that's worth reading about. What a brilliant man, Philo T. Farnsworth. Lots of videos on YouTube about his history, his contributions to science and technology. So if you haven't done so, please go check that out. Alright, let me spin this thing around. Let's take a look at the back side here of the cabinet. Okay, before I spin this around, here's what I was talking about. You got this mirrored burl walnut veneer. How gorgeous is that? And again, this crosshatch design. Looks like I've got the original knobs. This cabinet though is gorgeous, and it does not need to be refinished, best I can tell. Unless it's messed up here, but I think we can just recondition this and we'll be in great shape. Maybe even be able to salvage that grill cloth by taking it out, put a little starch in it, clean it a bit, and see if we can square it up as well. So let me flip this around here and show you the side of the radio. So you can see here, in great shape. And again, this reddish tone, I don't know if this is actually walnut veneer or mahogany, but the reddish tint to it, unless it's got toner lacquers on it, I would assume that it's probably mahogany. So I would think the cabinet's probably mixed with walnut on this front fascia, and then mahogany here on the top and sides. You can see the back. This radio is supposed to have a loop antenna, and yeah, there is a loop here mounted, but I've already seen some documentation online, and I can tell you, based on what I know, this is not the original loop antenna. It did have a similar pattern on the back, but you can see how small this is, so this probably just came off of another radio. Who knows when and how and what happened to the original integrated loop. That's a bummer that I don't have that. But yeah, we'll pull this thing out and take a closer look at it here. You can see the model number I was referencing there, the Farnsworth ET-066. So that's pretty cool. Got a marking here on the bottom of the cabinet, SC. Okay, I had to just wipe this off here. You could see the amount of dust and everything. This thing's been stored for probably 20 years or more. I've had this in my collection, and I don't want to get that too wet, but I think that right there just shows the beauty of this cabinet. And again, that's wet now because I just wiped it off here. I'll dry it so it doesn't saturate it, but looks like it's got protective lacquer over it, so it shouldn't create any damage. But how beautiful is this? And you can just see this thing, maybe a little paint here that should be able to remove, but this thing should just clean up and look remarkable without a refinish. And wow, here's that look at that burl. I think this is a good indicator here of what that looks like there. And I would guess this again to be a kind of a mirrored or matched burl walnut. You can see the beauty there in the wood. How gorgeous is that? Let me see if I can get another side view here and kind of clean this up on camera as well. Same deal here. You can see this cabinet, spectacular shape. Even having the radio this long, I've never done a restore on it. It'd be interesting to pull the chassis out and take a look and see what we've got underneath. So we'll do that next. I'll get these knobs removed here. You can see the dial is free. It's a little tight. So let me see what it's going to take to get the cabinet, or get the chassis out of the cabinet here, and we'll take a look at the chassis for the first time together. I tell you, from what I can see here on camera, this thing is clean, and I expected nothing less. And just looking at this line cord, I know I've never done a restoration on this radio, so this thing probably has been restored at some point in time, because you can see it's got a modern day line cord. It's polarized, but again, 2, 3, 4, 6 tubes, another one hidden back here. So this thing should have some extra sensitivity. I'm assuming there's probably an extra tube here in the IF or RF section. So it's more of a modification of an All-American 5. And you can see this loop antenna I'm referring to. See where the wires have been spliced here at some point in time. And here as well on a piece of heat shrink. And again, this is not the original loop antenna. Should we bring it up on the Variac and see if this thing will play? Maybe we'll do that. I can control the voltage and the current, and being it's got a modern day line cord, I'll take a chance that this thing's been recapped or been worked on at some point. So let's bring it up slowly and safely and see if we can get any music out of this thing. Okay, I've got one of the lights turned off so we can see if we get the filaments to light in the tubes. Go ahead and flip on the Variac. I've got the radio turned on. I'm going to watch the amp draw here extremely close. You can see that on the picture-in-picture. You can see that dropping instead of rising. Just toggle back through. And you can see I'm at about 50, over 50 volts. Jump this up just a bit. And we'll drop it back down here and just watch again the current for a bit. About 70 volts. Not really seeing a glow or anything at this time on the tubes. Wow.
While you're shopping.
Just on the bus. Hey, pa, get ready. Just like Humpty Dumpty.
803. 3.
The tuning's tight, but I was hoping I was having something I could actually work on this weekend, but I'm tempted now to pull it out of the case. So again, since I bought this radio from a restorer, maybe it was restored some like 20 years ago. I can't wait to pop underneath and just take a look and see. I'm going to go ahead and bring this voltage up a little higher. Current still looks good here.
Thank you. Hi, Doug.
Well, let me just go ahead and bring it up a bit more here. I just want to continue to watch this thing, and then I've got now my curiosity's peaked. I got to pull this thing out and look underneath it and see if we've got modern day caps underneath here. I'll continue to bring up the voltage slowly. See if I can get it up to about 117. I'm not going to press my luck and go any higher than that. And just watch the amperage or wattage here for a bit, and just make sure that it doesn't rise on me. And I'll shut this thing back down, and then I'll take the screws out of the bottom, and we'll pull it out and look underneath this thing for the first time. Okay, I've got the two fasteners out here that hold the chassis in. I'll just pull it right back toward me. Let's see, looks like I need to tilt it here just at a bit of an angle. And there we have it. So let me get this cabinet out of the way. Alright, here's a really nice look at the chassis. Not in bad shape at all. Just needs a little cleaning. I don't see any significant rust. Maybe just a bit over here in this area. But let's flip this thing over. Let's take a look at it and see what we've got here. I'm surprised. So looks like it's got a new line cord, And some of the capacitors have been replaced. You can see here. Possibly this has been restuffed, this electrolytic. But doubtful, but most likely replaced, because check this out. Look at this workmanship. See what I'm talking about? Just a floating connection point here, and you can see how sloppy the negative ground is here. But definitely work at one point underneath the chassis. But she's playing. That's a good sign. And playing very, very well, actually. So, guys, I thought I'd share this. Probably going to just let it be. Maybe I'll just tear into another radio on the bench. We'll see if we got something a little more interesting. But you can see we should be able to get this thing recapped. I want to study these caps too, to see who the manufacturer is and see if I can kind of date when this work was done. That will be interesting. Looks like I've got, this is probably a 5-inch speaker. I've got one little tear here in the speaker. And not a big deal. Love the dial pointer and love the Farnsworth made in USA right here behind it. Little separation there around that dial lamp. And I do want to show you one other thing on the cabinet. Let me get it back up here. Get this chassis out of the way. Alright, so here's the answer to the grill cloth. I'd almost be willing to bet it's original. You can see here it's got the cardboard backer, some tape, some staples, and it looks original just at a glance. But maybe it had been replaced at some point in time. But with these blocks in here over the top of the or maybe that's just wedged in underneath, but be willing to bet that's the original grill cloth. So very neat design on the cabinet, and how beautiful again is the woodwork on this thing. You can see what I'm talking about here. This thing should really clean up nice. Just a little touch up, and this thing will be spectacular. So folks, thanks again for watching. Again, this little Farnsworth 1946. And again, you get an opportunity, go back and research Farnsworth. You'll be amazed at what you learn about this gentleman that was involved with this particular company, and also the invention of the first electronic television device. Thanks for watching.